Last week, this man stalked a guy, bought a plane ticket to go see him, broke into his house, and attacked him with a hammer all over a video game. So I play a lot of Halo, as you can see. And a couple of weeks ago, I was playing with a buddy of mine, and he asked me, why don't you ever talk in game chat? Like, why don't you ever turn your mic on for game chat to communicate with other people? The story I'm about to share with you is one of the main reasons why. If you do any online gaming, especially like first-person shooters or fighting, you know how toxic the comms can get. Most of the time, it's not like that. Most of the time, it's just harmless trash talk. It's just annoying. Occasionally, it goes beyond trash talk. It just turns into threats. People will be, where do you live? Where's your house? But they're almost always just empty threats. But very rarely, they're not empty at all. They're full. They're plump. Just spilled water all over myself. Cool. Look, I know I cover a lot of relationship stuff on here, but red flags are not relationship exclusive. Red flags are warning signs, essentially. That's all they are. And warning signs are in every facet of our lives. Today's story is a prime example of that. It is a cautionary tale about why you should be careful about who you're yapping to online. All right, so let me give you the scoop, because I can't believe this is real. So two gamers were playing Archange or Arcage. I've heard multiple different pronunciations at this point, so I don't know. But basically, it's a game that was announced back in April that they were discontinuing the game in North America and Europe due to a lack of people playing. And it went into effect on June 27th, just a couple of days before this happened. This whole thing is based on a fight in a dead game. Just pick any other game, of course. Pick Animal Crossing, pick Luigi's Mansion, maybe even pick an older classic game that's dead. If you want to choose a dead game, pick a classic game like Rock Band. I want to be the drummer. No, I want to be the drummer. You be a bass player. Anyway, it's a game where they can kill each other's characters. It's like a fighting thing. They had an argument. It was probably like, I will be the last person on earth to ever play this game. And then the other was like, no, I want to be the last one. And this dude saw a revenge anime develop in his brain, lowered his head, looked directly at the camera, and said, I am embarking on a quest. Or I don't know what they normally say on anime. I don't watch anime. He then told his family that he was going to leave New Jersey, where they live, to travel all the way down to Florida to see a friend that he met online playing video games years ago.
I am more nervous than a fire hydrant in front of a house full of huskies.
So he landed at 2 a.m. in Jacksonville, drove 45 minutes to a hotel in Fernandina Beach. I hope I'm saying that correctly, but that's where the online enemy lives. Went to sleep. The next morning he woke up and went to Ace Hardware to get a hammer and a flashlight. And those two items are mildly suspicious. You know, I'm sure the employee checking him out was like, it's a little weird, but he's probably just doing some, early morning grout work. I don't know. I don't get paid enough to care. About 48 hours after his arrival, he went to the kid's house around like 1 a.m. and he entered through an unlocked door.
Unlocked? Folks, constituents.
His online enemy was playing video games, and then he had to get up and use the bathroom. And as he was walking towards the crapper, he saw a man masked in gloves and all black standing in what police call an anticipated striking position. Which, just, this psycho is chronically online, so he 1,000% was just standing there in like a choose your fighter stance. Just
choose your fighter.
Anyways, he attacked, and Florida Kid's stepdad heard all the commotion in the other room. He heard screaming and cries for help. He was asleep, by the way, so he just flew up out of bed, ran across the entire house, and just saw these two wrestling on the floor and just blood everywhere.
Speaking of crapper, this story is a real bowel mover. I'm going to be painting porcelain after this.
The two of them disarmed Hammerfella, held him down, called the cops, and then the cops came and then arrested him. Somehow Florida Kid was okay. He suffered really bad head wounds and had to go to the hospital, of course. Somehow they were not life-threatening, which, if you can't at least put somebody in the ICU with a hammer In addition to being chronically online, you're also weak. And I know it sounds hypocritical coming from somebody like me. I know how I'm built. I'm built like a granddaddy long leg. I know, I'm weak too. But I didn't travel halfway across the country to kill somebody, so I get to make fun of you. Police believe that New Jersey was trying to kill Florida because when they were interrogating him and being like, why would you, of course, do this? He looked him in the face and said, because he is a bad person online.
Well, you're a bad person offline, Hammer!
That is so rich, I've developed a sweet tooth. Oh my God. Even richer, apparently, New Jersey went up to the sheriff and said, sir, how long is it going to be before I get out so I can play video games again? And the sheriff said, it's going to be a long time before you get to play video games again.
Play stupid video games, win stupid prizes!
He had to appear in court via Zoom, but the judge denied his bail and then said he had to stay detained for the safety of the community until trial. And he wept like a little baby bitch. And then his mom was on the call too, but she looked like she was calling in from a security camera, most pixelated image I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, wild case. They charged him with second-degree attempted murder, and then there's a possibility of him getting armed burglary in the future, but that's not available yet. We'll know more, I guess, later. This story's been everywhere this week. It's been a national thing. Everyone's talking about it, but it's not even close to being the most extreme case of video game violence. It was a French Counter-Strike player who stalked a guy for 6 months and then tried to stab him, all because he lost to him in the game. The victim barely survived, and the only reason why he did is because the blade missed his heart by just a couple of centimeters. And then here's an even worse one. Back in 2021, a girl in Brazil who was a top Call of Duty mobile player showed up to a dude's house to play him, and she beat him, and he got really upset, and he stabbed her to death. Even worse, he took pictures of her dead body, bragged about it to his Call of Duty friends, texted them photos of it in WhatsApp. Terrible. It's terrible. Now, my point in all of this is not to say that we have a video game problem. We do not. This is not some Granny Sue argument where I sit here and be like, video games are the devil. They're the devil. You on that, Atari? No, I just think that we have a mental health problem. And there are people with severe mental health issues who take things that are meant to be well-intended and they just destroy it for everyone. And then people like Granny Sue come out of the woodwork and say it's the devil and we should never do it again, all because of a few people wanted to ruin it. But my main point is just be careful with who you're interacting with online, because not everyone is just trash talking just the trash talk. There are some people out there who would love to do worse if they knew where you were. It's becoming increasingly easier for people to find out where you live. So just make sure you're not trackable. Anyway, if you want to support this video, the best way to do that, hands down, is to check out my merch store. I also send a personalized thank you video for every single order. And in the top left is an emotional palate cleanser. I think we all need that. After this video, hit here and watch some wholesome Reddit stories of people being good humans. All right, that's my time. Toodles.